So my friends, in today's video we'll be doing a TV buying guide for 2022 and 2023. We'll also be including a special World Cup feature as the greatest tournament in the world is about to start. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So this year has been a very different year, and with a lot of people saving money on not going out as much and also not going away as much, then maybe home entertainment is going to be the big factor, and maybe it's the one thing that you ought to invest in, whether it's watching the latest movies, playing the latest games, or just watching standard TV. Well, certainly we hope that this guide is going to help you make the right buying decision. So in this video we'll be looking at a number of different factors. Best time to buy the TV. We'll also be looking at what size and location that you put the TV, because that's really important. We'll be doing a feature on the World Cup and sport, and also looking at what type of TV is best for gaming, movies, and just general TV watching. Which TV technology should you consider, because there's plenty out there. And also we'll finally look at other considerations. Now, I'm also going to be telling you which TV I'm going to be using for all of these things for the rest of this year and also the beginning of next, so stick around for that. Most TV brands release their new TVs at the beginning of the year. They announce them at events like CES in Las Vegas. And at the time that they're released, they're obviously the most expensive they'll ever be. But gradually as the year goes on, you tend to find that there's better deals out there. So coming towards the end of the year is a great time to buy the latest model TVs. Or you could even consider buying the previous year. But I think that the best time to buy is the newest model at the end of the year. When it comes to the size and location of your TV, there's a couple of considerations to make. Firstly, size. I think that you ought to get the best quality TV, the largest possible, for the budget that you've got. Now, what I mean by that is I would end up spending more money on a smaller TV to get a better quality TV rather than maxing out your budget just to get size. What you'll find is if you've got an inferior TV, the bigger it gets, the more noticeable those problems can be, and you'll end up regretting it. So go smaller but better. But if you can afford something like this, which is a 75-inch TV, it is an absolute game changer. And although you may think it is too big, you will very quickly get used to it, and it will be a whole new ball game in terms of your entertainment system. Now in my room, other than a million plants that my wife has, I've got windows to the side and also patio doors to the rear, and that is right opposite the TV. So I need to go for a TV that doesn't have problems with reflections. So in my opinion, I steer away from OLEDs in this room because they would just be far too reflective. Now the TV that I've got, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a few minutes, is the LG QNED 86. This is a mini LED TV that gets exceptionally bright, and that means that you can have it right opposite a window and it doesn't suffer the same problems that maybe a lesser bright TV or an OLED TV would with that huge reflection behind. So that's something which is really crucial. If you've got a room which is very dark, then it's not so much of an issue, but do consider this because it can be very off-putting. Now with the World Cup coming up, you're likely to be looking for a new TV, or many of you will be anyway. But what is the best type of TV, and what are the things that you ought to consider for watching football or really any other sport? Well, there's a few really important factors that have to go into your buying decision. Now we've already covered the size of the TV, but size is also important for sports. It does tend to be the type of event where maybe you'll have some friends around and you'll all gather around the screen, so viewing angles can be very important. Now sadly, on cheaper LED TVs, the viewing angles can be quite poor, and so therefore you do need to spend a little bit more to make sure you're getting the best viewing angle. So if you are in the shop and you're looking at a TV, just stand off to the side, and if it does start to get darker, well then that's one to maybe avoid. Another factor is refresh rates. Now the fastest movement of sport means that you need the fastest possible refresh rates. These tend to be known as hertz or frames per second, and the two most common are 120 Hz or 60 Hz, 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second. And this is effectively how many times the TV will refresh playing that image. Now it does depend on the content that's being put through the TV, and so therefore to get the best motion possible, I recommend that you buy a TV capable of delivering 120 Hz. Now that may well be that you need to spend a little bit more money. One of the things to look out for is HDMI 2.1. This also has a big factor when gaming as well, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. Another factor is DSE, screen uniformity or dirty screen effect. Now this can be really off-putting when watching sport because there's that big block of colour. Now that can be the same watching football, watching golf, or watching many other sports. So therefore, the cleaner the screen, the better. I run this test on all of the TVs that I purchase, and it shows me whether there's any dark areas, whether there's any banding, because if there is, you'll definitely have a problem when watching sport. So it's always the first test that I run. So the TV that I'm going to be using for the World Cup and for the rest of the year watching movies, playing games and sports is the LG QNED 86. This is a 75-inch mini LED TV. It's perfect for the room that I showed you because it handles reflections really well and it also gets super bright. It's very thin and very narrow compared to the size of the TV, and so therefore it looks super smart too. With the menu function and all of the features that are built into this, you've got everything that you're going to need for many years to come, including Freeview if you're in the UK and all of your smart apps. It also handles smart technology really well and links up with all of your smart devices. The TV has some HDMI 2.1 ports giving you fast refresh rates up to 120 Hz. And with the game optimizer that's built in, you can quickly select between all of the different game modes at just the touch of a button. It also supports many of the latest technologies, including HDR, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and many more. This combines two great technologies, Mini LED and Quantum Dot technology, to give you the QNED Mini LED TV. It provides you with incredible, vibrant, bright colors, brighter than many TVs out there at the moment, but also giving you very good contrast with the blacks. I'll leave a link in the description for it. Now, if you're thinking that you're going to be using one of the higher-end consoles like the Xbox Series X or the PS5 during the lifetime of your TV, then it's worth considering some of the features that the TV has. Things to look out for are the HDMI 2.1 120Hz refresh rate, which we spoke about earlier, VRR, which is called variable refresh rate, and ALLM, which is auto low latency mode. As well as this, you can look out for FreeSync and also dedicated game modes. This will deliver you the best possible gaming experience with your TV. The majority of people will use their TV for watching movies and watching standard TV, SDR content, like standard cable or Freeview. Now, there are still things that you need to look out for to get the best possible picture. Look out for HDR support with HDR or HDR10 or HDR10 Pro. Having Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos will open your TV up to a whole world of picture quality that maybe you've not seen before. And also look for things like specified modes within the TV, such as cinema mode, filmmaker mode. These are modes which are already pre-calibrated into the TV, and it means that you're watching the content as the director intended. When you spend a little bit more on a TV, you tend to get a better processor. And this not only means that the TV will function quicker and navigating between all of the different menus and apps will be quicker and more enjoyable, but you'll also get better upscaling. And that means it will turn standard TV into a far better picture. So here on my LG QNED 86 Mini LED TV, you're getting incredible standard definition content. This is just the adverts and it looks incredible. Now, having the different modes within the TV menu system means that you can get this looking exactly how you want. You don't have to go for the mode that I've suggested, but definitely trying one of those presets and taking it off of eco mode is definitely strongly advised. Now, when it comes to the different types of TV technologies, at the moment in the shops, you'll only really see two different types of technology. One will be an LED base, which is a backlight, a light emitting diode, and the other is an OLED, an organic light emitting diode. So the LED TVs basically have a number of backlights behind them to create the light. Whereas an OLED TV, the display is created by sandwiching organic thin films between two conductors, and when an electrical current is applied, it emits a bright light. So because the OLED displays don't require backlighting, it means that they can be thinner and they can often way less than other display technologies. Now, with mini LED technology, it's the same principle as LEDs. It's lots of individual bulbs, but it's thousands of individual bulbs. Now, there could be as many as 25,000 mini LEDs on a mini LED TV. This means that you get exceptional brightness, and also the darker black scenes are still very, very dark. Now, manufacturers haven't just stood still. They've used the same technologies, both LED and OLED, to create even better versions. So look out for things like nanocell, QNED, and QLED. These are just different things that manufacturers have done to the same type of technology to make them even better. Now, there are some other factors that you need to take into consideration. One of these being, are you going to wall mount your TV or are you going to have it on a stand? Wall mounting is great, it will set it far back against the wall and it means you can probably get away with a slightly bigger TV. If, however, you need to have it on a stand, then do bear in mind that it is going to sit a little bit further forward, and so therefore that may reduce the size of the TV that you want. Now, the functions of the TV have got smarter and smarter, and nowadays on something like this, the LG QNED 86 Mini LED TV, you can literally change almost every setting. It can really be customized to your exact preference. So if you're the type of person that likes to go in and make those changes, then definitely go for a slightly higher end TV because it will give you far more options. There's also other features like picture-in-picture. Now, I find these a little bit niche and I very rarely use them, but some people absolutely love them. So if you're one of those people, then check out to see whether the TV that you're considering buying supports that type of function. But the main advice that I would give in this other consideration section is buy what you need. And what I mean by that is don't spend more money for features that you'll never use. There's absolutely no point getting the highest end gaming compatible TV if you're never going to connect a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to it. You may as well go for something a little bit cheaper. So if you're the type of person that just watches standard TV, then look to see which TV does the best for watching normal TV. Likewise, if you're watching high quality 4K movies quite often, then it may be something that you want to consider going for the one that does the best job of that. Now, my final bit of advice is about budget. I always suggest that you spend slightly more than what you first intended. The likelihood is that this purchase is going to last you years and years and years, and so therefore spend just a little bit more without spending too much. You know what you can afford and you know what is a sensible purchase to make. But this is going to be a purchase that you make once, maybe in the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and so therefore if you can get the latest feature or the next size up for just a few pounds more or a few dollars more, then, in my opinion, it's worth just pushing yourself that little bit extra. I don't recommend anyone going into financial hardship, by the way, but I just always think buy once rather than have the regret. It's called buyer's remorse. That's it, guys, for this video. I do hope that some of the things that we've spoken about have been helpful. Do leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are, and if there's any other advice that you have for people, just drop them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.